Welcome back to our second part of our study in John chapter 3. Today we're looking at verse 11. And I've called this Love One Another. Now, we've heard this before as we've gone through 1 John. We've already come across the same idea. And so it's not something new. This is the message from the beginning that we heard about back in chapter 2. It wasn't new to the people who he's writing to, and it's not new even in his letter. And this is his cycling back around to the same idea. He does this quite often. That's what John does. So remember, it's a new and also an old commandment. This is something that people who claim to know the Father already know, believe, and practice. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. It's John chapter 13. So this command permeates the teaching of Jesus and therefore is not optional, nor is it temporary either. The commands of Jesus have no expiration date. The commands of Jesus were openly and fully expressed by him and were not given in a cryptic or mystical way. Love one another is not a mystery that we must unpack or try to understand. It's a clear and concise command that we either obey or disobey. Love is not as mysterious as, the romance novels and the romance genre would make us think. It's not really that complicated. Either you do it or you don't. It's a command. You either do it or you don't. Either you check that list off or you don't. It's not love then. And so you might be growing in your ability to love. You're growing in your desire to love, but either you do or you don't. It's not, this some mysterious thing that you can't pin down. Who knows what love is? Well, the Bible said, here's love. There's the definition. You got it? Do it. So the command to love one another is also the message that's been given. This is part of the good news. For if we are in Christ, a child of the Father, then we are in fellowship with one another. Amongst the brothers and sisters in Christ, there is real, God-defined love. We're not talking about the pig-named hatred that the world likes to put lipstick on and call love. That's not what we're talking about. As a child of God, you will know actual love. This is the message that we carry with us. Of course, we cannot share this message with the world if we don't know it ourselves or have this love in our own hearts. As John said, many in the church have gone out. They have love on their lips, but they have hatred in their hearts. They say, I love you, but hold a grudge. They say, I love you, but demand that you can only show love in the way that they want you to show love, only according to their terms. The message of true Christians, then, is that loving one another is the ideal way to love. It's really the only way to love. It is the God-ordained way to live. Loving one another is how you're supposed to live. The world will see this love amongst us as Christians and will know that we are Christians, but they don't understand what that love is. They don't understand how you can do that or why it makes sense to live that way or to love that way. And so they will know we are Christians by our love, but yet they won't understand us. They won't know us. They don't know our love. So to them, it is a mystery. To them, it is confusing. To them, it is something that's not understandable. But for Christians, we have to understand it. We have to know it, and we have to obey it. And it's not really a question of option or whether I want to love the brothers and sisters of Christ or not. That will show if I'm a Christian or not. If I'm wondering, I don't really want to love the church. Well, then you don't really love the Father. That's what he's saying. So you can't separate the two. And so we have to remember that. So we have to be careful that we obey that command. Next time we're going to look at verses 12 through 15. And we get the introduction of the idea of Cain and Cain's idea of love and Cain's way. And so we'll see that next time.